What was provided was fine flour, enough to make 12 loaves of bread, 2/10 of an ephah each, which is a measure of weight. It's about 6.5 pounds each, a 6.5 pound loaf of bread. It says cakes in New King James Bible, but I think of cake, I think of frosting, I think of birthday and weddings. If there's no frosting, you got bread, okay? This isn't a cake. And that's what these were, 12 loaves of bread, 6.5 pounds each of the best flour. They were to bake them, the people were to bake them, set them in 2 rows, verse 6 says, 6 to a row on a pure gold table, which according to Exodus chapter 25, this golden table was about 2.5 feet tall, so it wasn't very tall, 3.5 feet long and about 1.5 feet deep. So it wasn't real big, but they would put 78 pounds of bread on it. Think of that, most likely stacked, it was stacked on one another. It wasn't like the Sunday school pictures, these perfect little Wonder Breads, just put across there. This was a pile. These were 2 piles. Being unleavened, they wouldn't be thick, but it would be more like how we would think of pizza crusts. This is what they would look like. That kind of shape, 6 piles. They would stack them up 6 and 6, side by side on this little table. This is to represent God's table, constructed like the Ark of the Covenant. It has acacia wood covered with pure gold. So this dual nature is representative, becomes representative later on of the incarnation of Christ, of the Messiah, and his role in the redemption of fallen humanity, reconciling sinful people back to God. So you think of that, how this was built, and how that represents the incarnation of Christ, this table representing him with what is placed on it, being symbolic of the continual bread of life that comes from him. It's not a little bit, but it would appear as an overflow, and always new and always fresh. This is how it was described in the Hebrew Mishnah. The Mishnah is a Jewish oral law that was written down regarding what we're reading here. It says in the Mishnah, 4 priests would enter the holy place, 2 carrying the piles of bread, 2 carrying cups of incense. So 1 man was required to carry each of the 6 loaf piles. 4 priests had gone in before them, the Mishnah says, 2 to take off the week-old piles of showbread, 2 to take off the week-old cups of incense. Those who brought in the new bread stood at the north side facing southward, and those who took off the old bread stood on the south side facing northward.